By the way, who's the one person who's not worried for Alandria? Me. Because y'all know I like the things to be on the record. I'm not worried for Alandria. I'm not worried for Alandria. What did I say earlier? Sometimes a BIPOC person can be harboring more anti-Black sentiments than a white person because they see us as competition. Kenny resented the fact that he had to be with the jigaboo in order to get clout. And that's why he had to humiliate her to his friends. He couldn't hold that in. He resented the fact that he had to be next to this dark-skinned Black girl. I know Black Dominican. He was so disgusted by her, he had to find a place to clown her because he couldn't do it publicly. Meanwhile, Nick is the complete opposite of a Kenny. And I saw somebody post this, I think it was like 2 days ago, and I wish I could find her video because I really, really wanted to reach out to her and ask her to come on live or at least post her video so you guys could go follow her. This young lady posted about how she went and watched back the entire season of season 7, only watching Nick, because she wanted to see, do y'all have a point being concerned for Alandria? And when I read her thread, it made me go back to certain episodes, and she was right. This is what she said. She said Nick chose Alandria as the person that he wanted to get to know from day one, the first day, very first day, when there was no incentive, there was no hierarchy, there was no fan reactions, there was no politics. It was 5 minutes into them all meeting each other. He was already flirting with Alandria, and as soon as Ariana said, who do you want to kiss aside from the person you're coupled up with, he went straight for her. Immediate attraction, right? Not pandering. Because at that point, she's a dark-skinned Black girl, which means she's either going to be Janae like last year and be considered a biohazard, or she's going to be Serena and be considered popular. He can't clock it yet. So before he knew what anybody else thought of her, he himself thought, you are gorgeous. Right? And somebody said, okay, let's see you in a year. Oh, I promise you in a year, we're not going to find out that Nick was anti-Black and only with Alandria for clout. We're not going to find that out in a year. So please, yes, in a year, we'll be able to say that Nick was not with Alandria just for clout, because Nick liked Alandria before she even had any. So thank you. Yes, please come back in a year and bring my views up for being correct again. You guys have been doing this for 20 years. I've been right 95% of the time. This is not a fluke. So Nick liked Alandria and made it known to Ariana and the viewing public the very first episode. And why didn't we latch on to that? Because so many of us are not used to thinking that a man like her could like a girl like her. I mean, a man like him could like a girl like her when he considers has all these options. I talked about this in a video that went viral with Jesse, how when people say, Nick, are you sure you like Alandria? But they're really saying, hey, attractive white man with all these options, why are you chasing a jigaboo? That's what they're really saying. So the first episode, before Nick knew anything, he chose Alandria as the person that he wanted to get to know. But he immediately clocked that she liked Taylor, so he fell back. Whenever Taylor was trying to figure out how to do right by Alandria, Nick and Ace would give him advice about how to be better towards her. Now, Ace gave him advice about how to lie. Ace was like, yo, Jalen is showing her heat. You better cook her pancakes with the crispy edges before she finds somebody else. So Ace was actually helping him manipulate. But whenever he would see Alandria being treated back by Taylor, Nick by himself would pull aside Taylor, be like, yo, Taylor, like, she's a good girl. Be nicer to her. When Nick found out that he had a chance to be coupled up with Alandria, he confessed his feelings. He shot his shot. He was blushing. He laid it on thick. As soon as he realized that Alandria was still stuck on Taylor, what did he do? He still looked out for her. Even when Taylor wanted Alandria voted off, Nick was the lone voice saying, respectfully, Clark, we just met you. We're not getting rid of Alandria. Now think about that. There's a thing that women have in this world called fuck you sundress. Fuck you sundress is what happens when a woman's walking down the street in a pretty sundress, looking cute, sun is shining, hitting her melanin, and the guy says, yo, shorty, can I get your number? And she's like, no, I'm sorry, I got a man. And suddenly he responds, well, fuck you then, sundress. So many fragilely masculine men will think you're gorgeous until you reject them, and then it's fuck you. Nick got rejected by Alandria after laying his heart on the line in front of millions of viewers, and he still looked out for her when he had nothing to gain. In fact, Alandria leaving would have been best for him and Taylor's game, because then he could have gotten rid of her and not had to confess to anything to Sierra. And he still looked out for her, even when it was against his best interest. That is the complete opposite of Taylor, Brian, and Kenny. So I will die on this hill. The concern you have for Alandria, who was with a man who took care of her even when he could get nothing from her, even after she rejected him publicly, is not the same thing as Janae, who with Kenny, who was latching onto her when he needed her to stick around. It's not the same. Is there any nuance in the room? Nick does not play about Alandria. Yes, girl, say it. I posted in my last live with Dexter a compilation video. If you haven't seen that live, go watch it back. Even though it got a copyright strike, so I'm not going to make no money, but still. In that last live, they did a compilation of Nick on live, and one live, he was only on there for like an hour. Every time you asked him a question, the answer was Alandria. Nick, what's your favorite color? Alandria. Nick, who's your favorite celebrity? Alandria, because she's a celebrity. Nick, what did you eat today? Hopefully Alandria. When he went on that podcast with those white girls who had been clowning Alandria all season, he had her in the background and was like, babe, I'm going to go on the show without you and have your back. I watched that podcast, by the way, because I was like, Nick's about to go on a podcast where they've been dragging his girl. Alandria was not invited because they're racist. But like, why is Nick going on this show? Because I still am protective of Alandria, right? So I'm watching this show like, Nick, you better keep it cute. Don't disappoint me. Don't disappoint me. Nick came on at the 38-second mark. For anybody who wants to find it, I remember the exact timestamp. At 38 minutes and 40 seconds, 40 seconds into the interview, he mentioned Alandria. Those girls could barely say hello to him. They were like, oh, we like your meatball shirt. They were flirting with him. Oh, we like your meatball shirt. We heard you only had 6 or 7 shirts. That's why you had to borrow clothes from Taylor and everybody else. Are you going to go shopping? He said, Alandria's going to take me shopping. Nick does not play about Alandria, even if it means embarrassing other white presenting people when she's not in the room. A man who will have your back when he has nothing to gain. A man who will have your back even when people who he wants to like him are being crazy to you. A man who makes it clear that he does not play about you. That is who you invest in, regardless of color.